Okay, this is the DR power grader, and we just got most of it assembled. The battery is hooked up to the actuator so we can move it up and down, and this is how it goes. Keep in mind that when I first did this, I had to go up and down a couple of times to where it would finally go all the way through. First time it just went a couple of inches, making sure that the spacers are correct and everything else. And now we'll go on to getting the rest of this hooked up and see what we can do. That's Buttercup, by the way. Okay, most everything's assembled. I'm starting to run out of light, so I'll get the hook and yoke and everything put up in a few minutes. A couple of things I wanted to point out. The teeth are actually shipped pointing up just for transport, so you've got to take those off and turn them around. Make sure you got them the right way. Not a big deal. Only other thing that seems a little silly is everything's shipped to you on the crate, and the first thing you naturally do is you get home and you take it all out and you take it off the crate and you start to put it together. Then when you actually get to the instructions, it says, well, it's on its crate, go ahead and do this. By that time it's usually too late, and not a huge deal because everything you see here you can do without it being on the crate, though the crate would make it a little easier. We've got the battery getting powered up. We'll do that overnight, and the next video will be a before picture of the driveway and everything we're going to try to do. The total feel of this thing is not as bulky as I expected, but I got to thinking, who cares so long as it gets the driveway like you see in the commercials. So everything looks good, fairly simple operation. Took me about a half hour, but I'm kind of a moron, bring out the wrong tools, takes me a few seconds, overthink the directions, go back and do everything twice type guy. So for most people, I'd expect about 15 minutes is all. Real easy to put together. Okay, this is the last thing. The black tow bar that you see actually came shipped backwards. So what that meant was after I got the shearing pin in and got the trailer hitch ready to put on, there were no holes for the bolt to go through. So I had to take the shearing pin off, take it all the way out, turn it back around, and then the holes would fit. Not a big deal, but if you get one of these, look at that before you go through all the trouble I did in doing it twice. See you next. Okay, here we are on the driveway, getting ready to take a before shot. You can see for the most part we've got a real big landing area here without too many problems. You can see water in this one area, just an area that water just plain comes right out of the ground during the winter from underneath the shop and goes down. There's a few small potholes and stuff. Most of these are made by my kids, just directing water and having fun. We'll keep going here. Couple small potholes here. Not a big area of concern to me, but it'll be interesting to see how it does. A couple of minor ones here, and again a couple of minor ones coming up. Right here's a pile of gravel we can use if we need it. Usually I use it for other things, to be honest. Right down here, small area across the creek. This area I've done with a box blade just a month ago or so. I'm guessing 20 yards, probably took me 2 hours, took forever, didn't come out great. That's one of the reasons I bought the DR Power Road Grader. We'll go around the corner here. One low spot here, always has water, probably always will, doesn't have good drainage. You can see a few other spots coming up right here that I also always get these potholes and can't seem to get rid of them. Use a box blade on that a fair amount. Another one right here. This is the second area that I use the box blade on, kind of ripped it up. Never goes quite right. Ended up with a spot right there. We come up to a bigger landing area here and we'll head off to a Y. The Y will have the lake. Anyway, we're going to end up at the top here. A couple of small ones. This is the big area that just always ends up with potholes. You can see how much gravel we have. I don't think it's a lot, but it's certainly not none. We're going to go right around to the other area. This isn't an area I'm going to bother with right at the road, but we get back to the other side of the Y right here. This generally gets nothing done by me because I don't drive on it. You can see a few washout spots, a couple of small potholes that have never had anything done to them, and of course the lake. And the lake's the main thing we're gonna try to see if we can't get a fair amount of fill into and see if the grader can't level it out some. And from here we just head straight back down the driveway, and this is what it looks like in the before. This weekend I'll go ahead and get out the grader and get a couple of videos, I hope, with while I'm grading, but then also get some pictures showing how everything looks afterwards. Till next time, see you later. Okay, we're going to do our first test. You can see it hooks up just by sliding the little ring on there. No biggie. Put one cinder block in for weight. Says it can hold 70 pounds. I probably got 35 in there is all with that. I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm just going to do a few passes on this lower part, just the landing area that we saw earlier. You can see the iceberg dead ahead over there. We had some snow yesterday and rain, and that was left over from my truck. So everything should be as wet as we're going to get it. And if it doesn't do a good job with this, quite frankly, there are no better ideal conditions than we've got right now. The actuator is in the up position, so we're going just fine. Got my little keychain on for the actuator, and we're going to put it in the down position. And we're going to put it all the way down because I'm feeling risky. I hope this shows okay, because quite frankly, I'm trying to drive. Make sure I don't get my basketball court. Get up close to the edge. Okay, I've shown you just a little bit. I'm going to turn this off and do a few passes, and then let you see more of the finished product. Okay. All right, that constitutes one pass. You can see there's a couple of big rocks that came out. Looking at it overall, I gotta say I'm impressed. A couple areas in the narrow spot here I did go over twice, just getting to the rest. But it looks like there's all kinds of gravel that suddenly came up out of the ground. This is still here, but of course this is only one pass. I assume I'm going to have to do this 3 or 4 times. You can see a small one here, a bigger one there. That is only one pass on that. A couple of smaller ones here, and that's where I stopped and turned around a few times and came back around. I'll do this 3 or 4 more times with the camera off and show it one more time. So far, I would have hoped for these results, so I'm very happy to have them. we'll see you in a few. Okay, that was several passes. The thing works awfully well. There's a couple of problems. This is one area that we had a pothole, but it's not the fault of the grader, I'm sure. What ended up happening, for the most part, you can see clumps of stuff, and some of it's larger rocks like right here, but a lot of it is just plain mud. Here's a good example. And I'm sure what's happened going through there is right now I'm doing it when it's very wet on the ground, and so once the gravel and mud and everything is on the back of the grader, it's sticking in clumps and falls down in clumps, and it seems obvious to me that it would have no problem covering them up if I had some drier ground right now. Here's one area where we had a couple of potholes, and it covered them just fine. And this is typically a drier section of this landing. Over there is where I had the water flow that goes underneath, and it's just incredibly wet. So for the most part, you can see some small lines where the grader was. I'm amazed at how much gravel it looks like I suddenly have on my driveway. You can get a good look there, and before it was just beat down. It didn't look like much gravel at all, if any. So the next chest, we'll go and do the rest of the driveway, and that'll probably happen hopefully tomorrow, and I can get this thing for everyone to see. Thanks a bunch.